Good morning, everyone from San Francisco. Good evening in India. I am Amita, co-founder of Nourish Talk, a platform for natural and holistic medicine with focus on showcasing successful outcomes by showing you research and anonymous client case studies. In our educational session today, we are going to be talking about how acupuncture and yoga can help you with anti-aging, menopause for women, and ED for men. Presenting this topic, we have Dr. David Lee, who has masters in acupuncture and oriental medicine, along with a doctor of philosophy in oriental medicine as well. Dr. Lee has discovered revolutionary treatment protocols called bisoma and tetrasoma acupuncture. Dr. Lee practices out of his LA office using constitutional medicine with acupuncture, food, and Asian herbs. Dr. David Lee has treated thousands of clients for different ailments. Dr. Lee has also written books, multiple books in fact, on acupuncture and Chinese herbs. His goal is to spread awareness of the benefits of acupuncture to people of all economic levels. Welcome, Dr. Lee. We are really honored to have you on our show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure joining you.
Great. So joining him, Dr. Lee, would be our Eknath Amitji, yoga guru. You have seen him in our previous webinars as well. He is a celebrity yoga guru, doctor of naturopathy, and a yoga therapist. Eknath Amitji has trained Bollywood movie stars like Shilpa Shetty. Now he has a studio and yoga studio in Goa, India. So please feel free to ask any questions. We are going to start with Dr. Lee talking about the process of aging for men and women.
Yes, it's my pleasure to speak with you about aging and anti-aging. This is a very big, huge, large topic, which we can actually tackle, knowing what to do with it in a very safe and effective manner. So this will be a valuable information for you, and how natural medicine can be so empowering for your system to be sustaining the anti-aging activity itself. What is anti-aging? Aging is a progressive lessening of internal functions over time. Its effect is noticed between ages 40 to 50. As you know, prior to age 30, you're walking on air. You feel like you're floating. It's that efficient your whole system is, many different parts integrated well together. And around after age 30, you start noticing slight differences, and it's quite evident by age 40 and 50 that we need to upkeep ourselves to keep systems working as well as before. At the same time, there's still a natural process that's happening. So some of the symptoms that are evident are fatigue, being tired, forgetful, not remembering things as well as before, frequent infection, meaning immune system is down, chills easily, your metabolism is not as functioning as well, so you're not producing as much heat, so you have a little bit of chills that you notice more than before. And even with the same amount of activities, you don't seem to retain as much muscle mass, strength, and bone mass. And little aches and pains come and go, neck pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain, low back pain is the most common, and some of them, they stay around. And of course, general hypofunctioning of internal system. They are your organs, liver, lung, kidney, stomach, intestine, and glands, thyroid, and adrenals, pituitary, and so on and so on. So there's micro regression that's happening over time, and that's the process of aging. And a disease is a little different because disease is more of a immediate, acute, strong form of imbalance. And so when the disease manifests and the rest of the body is doing well, that's what we start focusing on. Let's treat the disease. Well, even treating the disease, you're treating the body to help have the body treat the disease. So disease is just a strong form of, we'll call it for convenient purpose, aging. And so then when you treat a disease, it's the same model as when you treat aging. Then what is anti-aging? Anti-aging is trying to address the aging at all levels. And it makes sense when you talk about the cells, because our parts everywhere, I believe it's definitely many trillions of cells in our body, several trillion brain cells in our head, and several trillion cells in the rest of the body. And all of them congregate together as a unity, a group. So then it becomes different system, different organs, different glands, or you could say immune system and different parts, different functions. So each cell has its own responsibility. And when you support the process of each cell, then you have an overall profuse improvement everywhere else. So for each cell, you support its ability for growth. We all want to grow. We know what that means. So continual growth is what we know is a progress, but at the same time is a sustaining a state. Reproduction. Cells have a number of days for it to function well. And after a certain period of time, it needs to reproduce to renew itself. So that reproductive process of duplication needs to be also optimized. Metabolism, that will be the material or the energy that is generated within. So you have sugar from outside of the cell going into the cell, and the inside metabolizes the sugar to get the energy and function. And then when it uses up the energy, there's a process where there's waste matter that also needs to go out. So that proficiency of nutritious matter going into the cell and also the waste matter going outside of the cell, that has to be also optimal. And cell-to-cell communication means this cell communicates with another cell, and that cell communicates with another cell. So there's a network of relationship where they're understanding each other through communication. So when all those growth, reproduction, metabolism, cell-to-cell communication happen in a smooth way, then you have a pretty good tune-up everywhere in the body. And that is what anti-aging is. And one of the experiences that we experience, we talk about energy, right? So stamina, energy, focus, clarity, feeling integrated, feeling like you're walking on air, no pain or minimal pain. It all indicates that it's an outcome of things happening correctly. You cannot give energy directly. You cannot give sense of well-being directly. Those are outcome. And when you adjust every little part well, then the outcome is higher quality of living. So then our goal is to establish that homeostasis, our DNA wants to gives an instruction to. And so then the rest of the body, at the cellular level, when it establishes the homeostasis, which is a normal range or range of normalcy, or you could call it even balance. Right? That homeostasis, the word is used by the Westerners in scientific circles. Balance is used by nature practitioners. Same difference in the meaning. So when you establish the homeostasis, then the outcome is a higher quality of living. And of course, reversal of the diseases.
All right, so could you talk about how does holistic medicine help with the anti-aging process that you just described?
Yes. Holistic medicine is quite relevant for anti-aging, along with specific targeted medicine. That's biomolecular language medicine, and we call that scientific medicine, or actually science is at different levels. So when we talk about double-blind, randomized, peer-reviewed study, you could do that with molecules. You could do that with some specific one ingredient. And that is valuable in certain instances, like save life model, or when you need to intervene right away to change the function so that you get to not only prevent and also to treat. So there's Western medicine is highly, highly valuable, but we recognize that we don't have enough information. We don't have enough ability. Nature is still wide and vast and deep. There's so much that's going on that our brain is not able to utilize all that information simultaneously. I think the advancement of artificial intelligence is the key to have the varied medical information to be calculated very quickly so that you have the right answer that's coming out. So in that sense, artificial intelligence perhaps can go into interpreting holistic medicine and find solution where we could apply the right solution for different kind of problems and have a lasting improvement. So that's what we could project towards with the Western medicine. But as for now, with the Eastern medicine or Indian medicine, India is also East, or you could say Middle East, or the indigenous medicine, where they recognize a trend and a pattern, not really cause and effect. By looking at a pattern and matching a pattern with the pattern, they realize how valuable it is, because in the long run, it's very, very helpful. It's constructive, it's building, and because you're adjusting little things here and there over time, therefore it becomes safe. Like for example, what treats complexity with complexity? What that means is our whole body is complex. Our brain is the most complex thing in this whole universe. And you couple that with your body, boy, it's quite complex. Now, how do you even address that? Well, first, we recognize nature has solution. We see that everywhere. Like for example, we're outside, like here. It's so fulfilling for our soul, for our spirit, and that is empowering to us. What about food? Food has many, many benefits, and that is empowering. And we've identified the right foods over time that help us, not only for energy, but also building up for long-term benefit. Because food is not just nutritional, food is also minor medicine, and we consume food on a daily basis. So therefore, it adds up. Food becomes a strong medicine to us over time. That's complexity. Food is quite complex. We studied about, well, science studied food. How did they study? First, they identified sugar, protein, fats, and then they identified vitamins and minerals. Now we have phytonutrients. Oh, I don't know what to deal with this because it's just so complex. But since a few decades ago, science is able to address phytonutrients, not in a very holistic way, but at least in a molecular way, in such a specific targeted way of interpretation. So that's a good beginning, that's a start. As with holistic medicine, we take the complexity as a whole. Let's match up this person with this food and see how well this fits from top to bottom, from head to toe, from just everywhere. If it's well everywhere, then that's multiple benefits and no side effect. And that's great about nature medicine, that we've identified through thousands of years for a very long time what is very good for us. And of course, going forward, we're discovering more and more stuff out in the nature that provides solutions even for the stubborn problems that we have today. Okay. So how about some other thing that's complex? Exercise, all right? You do regular exercise, mental exercise, physical exercise, yoga. It's so complex, and that complexity affects the complexity of our bodies, and it's quite, of course, safe, and it's empowering. It builds you up, and the effect adds up to a point where you're at a different level of reality, and that is the growth and going forward that we are looking for, and that in itself is anti-aging. And we use the word tonic. Tonic is same meaning as anti-aging. Tonic is something that helps you in multiple ways, in such a way that it just preserves itself. So a tonic is beneficial for the lung, liver, kidney, immune system, again, the glands, muscles, circulatory system. That's what tonic is. And tonic is something that's holistically beneficial. And it occurs at psychological level, physiological level, and physical level. Psychological level will be mental, anxiety, stress, post-traumatic stress disorder, or different ways of thinking, certain perspectives where it may not be within right range of way of thinking, because you want to have a good expansive mind where you're open, you're flexible, and you're able to adjust to different situations. That's psychology. Physiology is internal function of the organs and glands and circulatory system, so digestive system, so your sleep, your bowel movement, those are all physiology. And then physical, that will be more like aches and pain, muscles and joints, tendons and ligaments. So you want to have the parts be well preserved, because you have good parts, then you have good function. That's functional physiology and functional psychology. And so therefore, holistic medicine affects you or benefits you at the psychological, physiological, and physical levels. So again, that's a huge contrast between targeted medicine and in general pattern medicine. So you could say you could target the pattern, but what I mean by targeted medicine here is targeting for a specific function. Like for example, I have a disease, hypothyroidism. Okay, take some Synthroid. Or I have irritable bowel syndrome. Oh, take this medication that reduces the peristalsis or regulates the peristalsis, or some kind of an antacid or protein the protein inhibitor, proton pump inhibitors, and so on and so on. So you're targeting specific thing, but what we realized after several generations is that you're looking at the end product, as in, okay, here's a disease, and here's a cause that led to the disease. What about cause to the cause to the disease? And what about cause to the cause to the cause to the disease? So when we go up the river as far as we can, we're actually trying to treat the source, and we do a pretty good job on that. But when we treat at the last level, we call it band-aiding. That's why when you have a disease and you take prescription medication, well, you're on it forever. You try stop taking it, well, you're back to square one. Or it could be even worse. Why? Because you're introducing the active ingredient from outside to in. And when you do that, then the body becomes less and less capable of taking over on its own. Yes. And so then the solution is to, again, it's very important, little bit adds over time. And we like the strong, fast result, and that happens with nature medicine. But nature medicine also recognizes incremental improvement over time also. And that's with good diet, and that's with exercise, of course. That's within your control. You gotta do that. That is foundation of your health. And building upon it, you add other solutions that are even more helpful, because good diet and exercise do not solve all the problems. And so within Asian medicine, there are top three that are being done. specifically with me, is acupuncture, body type foods, and Asian herbs. So what is acupuncture? Acupuncture is stimulating certain parts in the skin of the body, and so that stimulation gives instruction, or it gives information so that the body knows better what to do. So acupuncture is information giving. Acupuncture delivers information. Body type food, yeah, that's it's foods. I mentioned foods are they're mild medicine, and when you eat the food for your body type is important. Not just the content of the food, not just the cleanliness of the food, but when it matches you. For example, chicken. We hear chicken is good for everyone. Yeah. But we also recognize that chicken is bad for some group of people. Like, for example, chicken is warming, right? So if you're born with a warm body and it's in your DNA, then your body does not do well with chicken, and it causes stress within your body. And so it disrupts the normal physiology. So specific food ingredients for specific body type is what I identify and recommend. And also with the Asian herbs, I do the same thing. Asian herbs are a stronger form of food, and it has more different type of phytonutrients, stronger phytonutrients, where it acts like medicine, even more stronger than food does. And those, just by doing those three, they do a lot, right? And then in nature medicine, holistic medicine, there's different type of theories that the practitioners use. And I noticed I do constitutional medicine, and I also noticed that other areas on the globe have already developed constitutional medicine, and we call that Korean medicine. Well, for me, I do Korean for constitution medicine, and I've created Bisoma, Tetrasoma acupuncture. That's also constitutional medicine. And then Unani, that's Greco-Roman started it, and is widely practiced in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So there you go. It spread out quite a bit, and it started with Hippocrates, and then picked up by Galen, and then also championed by Avicenna, which is the father of Middle Eastern medicine. In Indian Ayurveda, Pitta, Vata, Kapha, those words are referring to specific body types also. And then in the West, it's more relegated to the psychology, the mental or temperament or characteristic personality of that person. So they have different models. Need theory, DISC. D would be dominant, I is influencing, S steady, C is conscientious. And then there's social styles and Myers-Briggs type indicator. That's 16 personality types. So West had quite well developed ways to diagnose a person according to their psychological constitutional profile. So there you go. So constitutional medicine is quite everywhere. As what here, anti-aging, how do I do, well, how long does it take for you to see some improvement, or how long does it take for the anti-aging take place? Well, acupuncture, take herbs, do the adjustment. So you do that, acupuncture twice a week in the first month. By the end of 30 days, good, significant improvement. I could tell I'm doing better, more clarity of the mind. I have less aches, less pain. I have better function. My organs are functioning better. My daily biorhythm is even more optimized, and so on and so on. By the end of 30 days, you yourself notice multiple improvement. And then in the second month, you have additional improvement. And in the third month, it only takes 2 or 3 months to have good, significant improvement towards anti-aging, and you have gotten the momentum going. And so since you have the momentum, by the end of 60 days or by the end of 30 days, then you're gonna still be on the maintenance. Why? Because aging still takes place. All you did was slowing down the aging process. So you need a maintenance to keep you at a state level where the slow is slowed or where the slow is optimized by just nudging it here and there. So then the acupuncture herb visit could be, depending on what you have, it could be once a week if it's a severe bad problem that you have to maintain, but that's rare. It's more of every 2 to 4 weeks. So I have patients who come in once a month, patients who come in once every 2 weeks, depending on their particular need. They like it because mentally, physiologically, physically, they feel better.
So
All right, so let's then.
yeah,
Yes.
sorry. No, I was just going to say, I think that's very informational. So I think let's talk about specific success cases that you've done for men as well as for women.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about ED, erectile dysfunction. For male, that is a big priority, especially after a certain age. Yeah, usually it's after 50 that they want to keep that virility. And when it goes down, that is a big alarming sign. Oh, I cannot have this. Well, again, you don't want to be targeting for a particular problem or a particular disease. If you have something and it's hypofunctioning, now you want to start thinking about anti-aging. So let's give this as an example. Male, age 48, he has normal testosterone, but lack of desire. It's because his body type does not do well with lettuce and cabbage. And he thought, well, that's good content, phytonutrients, antioxidant, and so on. And there's a lot of reports saying that the lettuce and cabbage is good, so I'm gonna have juice every morning. So he did that for 1 whole year, and suddenly he developed erectile dysfunction. He had a lack of desire. He was having regular sex 2 or 3 times a week, pretty much without fail. He's one of those guys that loves regular sex with his wife. And that was quite disconcerting because he has such a strong, robust body. He almost never catches a cold. He almost never gets sick. He almost never feels bad. He sells medical equipment, so he travels all over, different time zone and in the airplane. He's okay with that. He likes it. So he indicates so much of his robustness. And then that being compromised, and that became very disconcerted. So he came over and we talked and go, okay, what do you eat this? What do you eat that? What do you do this? And then identify maybe possible it's the lettuce and cabbage. How do I know? It's because his body type is dry type. Dry types do not do well with lettuce and cabbage. They don't do well with, you've heard of some people having allergic reaction to shellfish. Okay, dry types are that type. So I said, just stop taking those. Why don't you consume foods that are good for your body type? That's root vegetables, parsnip, turnip, radish, cassava, taro, beets, so sweet potato. Those are root vegetables. They're good for his body type. And I said, because he has a warm body type, you should be reducing your turmeric, ginger, cinnamon if you're having them. Of course, by intuition, you could say, yeah, turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, they're probably warming. Okay, what about cucumber, celery, aloe? Are they cooling? Mint, is it cooling? Yes, you could tell. You could sense that the one group of food is cooling and the other group of food is warming. So I said, you have a warm constitution. Reduce warm foods, and warm food is also chicken too. And he was eating a lot of chicken because chicken is right now considered to be a good quality protein. And just by adjusting that, and I gave him Asian herbal formula. It's called Shi Er Wai Dabutang, which consists of about 12 ingredients, and of plant parts. That's roots, vegetables, and fruits that the East Asians had identified and put together as a formula. And deer antler. Deer antler is deer. Like they have antler, so those are the live ones are harvested, and according to chemistry, it's known to contain growth hormone. But really, that's not the point. It's not about the growth hormone. It's about what that deer antler does, and perhaps there's probably more molecules within it that helps. But it's also for a specific body type. Deer antler is for dry type only. If a damp type takes it, It's a poison. That's why the content itself is the second and the higher priority. The first priority of foods and herbs is matching up with that person, regardless of what that contains. And for a dry type, mushroom, different type of mushroom is quite empowering. And yeah, mushroom in general is good, also good for other types, but it's especially good for the dry body type. So it's not black and white as in it's got to be opposite for the other, but it could be neutral for one, but beneficial for the other. Okay, and then as with the outcome, his erectile dysfunction completely back to normal within 3 months. And let me see, and he was having sex 2 or 3 times a week, normally, regularly. And actually, he started noticing improvement on a weekly basis. Since he started this, he didn't get acupuncture, just change in diet, the herbs, and weekly he noticed additional improvement. By the end of 3 months, pretty much back to normal. I saw him this week, a few days ago. He came back after 4 months, and he noticed the erectile dysfunction starting to come back. So I asked him about foods. I forget what it was. So we have to adjust something, but at the same time, just because he's better doesn't mean he's just going to be better. At times, there's going to be fluctuation, sliding back, indicating that we know where he is at. So then when he has the symptoms coming back again, then we just nudge it back to the high level of normalcy that he should be at. So it's a nice process. First, have a lot of improvement and see how he does, and then nudge the momentum as time passes. Okay, here's another case. Female, age 48. Yeah, most of the symptoms gone after 4 months. And this person came in because she was referred by a hand specialist because she broke her hand, and she was trying to recover her the hand ability because she needs to go back to work and she uses her hand. Doing the computer and other things and writing and just manipulating things. So that was a high priority for her. And then we talked about some things, how your symptoms, how's your pain, and so bring me a list. That's what she brought in. It's like I'm fatigued every day. I have hard time focusing, concentrating. I have skin eruption, bumpy, and it's itchy, and it's all over my body. And I have hard time falling asleep or staying asleep. And at times I have difficult bowel movement. I have a lot of flatulence, gas. My hair is losing. Some people they talk about all these different things, and at the end, my hair is losing, and I know hair loss is the top thing that they want to treat, and everything else is secondary. Anyway, when a person loses hair, that can be quite alarming for a lot of people. And the nails, they break easily. They don't look as healthy as before. And she smokes, and she wanted to quit smoking, and it's always been hard to quit smoking. Easily irritated, angry, something happens, upset. Of course, if you're not feeling well in the inside, then something little happens and you'll blow up. Okay, and then the tongue, sticky, thick stuff in the mouth. So it was like it was just sticking to the roof of her mouth, and so it wasn't a good exchange of fluid in her system. It's just not just digestive or stomach related issue. It's the whole fluid of the body circulation issue. And skin is oily, meaning the skin is like releasing stuff from inside to out. Perhaps there's hypofunction, or perhaps she's eating stuff that she shouldn't, so the body wants to get rid of something and it comes out oily. She's not able to relax, of course not. She can't be comfortable. And then she's growing like hair in wrong places. Why am I growing hair on my chin and my neck? And of course, no sexual drive, having a lot of headaches, tension headaches, and body pain everywhere hurts. And she has dry lips and eyes, indicating not good fluid metabolism again. Eyelashes falling out. And she's just, when she has certain thoughts, she just can't stop. She's in this like cycling of rut of thoughts over and over again, which she cannot control. And more complaints, neck pain, back of the head pain, low back pain. She does have arthritis and herniated disc. So that's chronic, spinal pain too, and bursitis in the hip, and daily stomach pain. and hay fever, allergy, itchy eyes, and sinusitis. Oh boy, which one should we start treating, or which one should we target, or should we treat everything at the same time? Yes, let's treat everything at the same time. So she was diagnosed as a warm dam type. Okay, so I asked her to reduce the warm foods, chicken, turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, if she's taking them, and some other warm foods, and consume cooling foods. That would be celery, cucumber, aloe, and so on. And then damp, being a damp type, she should not eat nuts. So I asked her to reduce nuts. She should not be consuming dairy. So I asked her to reduce dairy, but consume shellfish and a lot of lettuce. And for her, definitely a lot of cabbage too, because it's good for her damp type. So she came in twice a week for 12 weeks, total of 24 visits. And she noticed improvement right away, immediately. And that's very important. Earlier improvement, the better it is, because the most important is providing the hope. I've had this for so long. I've struggled for so much. I tried so many different things. I don't know where to turn to. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing a little bit of improvement. Oh gosh, a little breather. And then every week the person gets better and better and better. So the hope keeps going up and up as the person sees the pattern of improvement that they were looking for in the first place.
That's great, Dr. Lee.
Yeah.
So we are a bit pressed for time, so maybe we could talk about a couple of quick cases, and then Dr. Eknath has to do his demo as well.
Okay, great. All right, so another person, different type of issue, but multiple issues, and it's pretty much the same. The person came in with actually a pain in his upper arm. He's also a traveling salesperson for a chain of restaurants, and he wanted to get treated for that. And he's age 63, and he in the process of treatment, I asked him to change his diet according to his body type and take herbs for his body type, get acupuncture. So acupuncture was mainly for his aches and pains. And then as he changed his diet and took his herbs, his sense of well-being went up, more energy, more stamina, more clarity. Not only that, the skin itching and allergy that he had since childhood, they got so much better. And this was the most improvement that he has ever seen in his whole lifetime. Okay, how is this related to anti-aging? Yeah, even after certain age, some things can be reversed even if you had it for such a long time, indicating that at the very core level, his internal system is adjusted for the better. And so there is smoother, better functioning where there is anti-aging taking place. So he was noticing a fatigue, discomfort over time. Now he's experiencing reversal of those. And general tension and malaise, case 4, female age 32. She's young, but she has been eating all the wrong foods. Okay, she's not supposed to have high protein diet. She's not supposed to eat dairy and nuts, and she's not supposed to consume chicken, turmeric, and ginger, and so on. You know, I'm not harping on the turmeric, ginger. It's beneficial for a lot of people. It's just that for an individual, at times it doesn't match up. And so then this being age 32, all she had was very fatigue, stomach pain, and being tired, but nothing else really. So that is the beginning of the body being compromised. So when you catch it earlier, the reversal is quicker, and the person continues to experience the high sense of well-being. And if you address that earlier, later the person had become even stronger, so that their body's taking over for anti-aging is more efficient than otherwise.
Great. So this quickly we will go through this pre-menopause case as well. And then after that, Eknath can give a small demo.
Yes. Female, age 51. She was having perimenopause. Perimenopause with a lot of hot flashes, feeling a lot of PMS, emotionally off, having swings of mood, irritable, anxiety, depression. All this especially worse because the hormone was changing, and this person had chronic depression for 20 years. identified as warm, damp constitution, adjusted diet. Eat these certain foods that are more strong in medicinal effect for you. Get acupuncture. So acupuncture is really good for reducing hot flashes. Think of anything that reduces hot flashes without negative side effects. There's only a few, and acupuncture is just one of them. Great safety and benefit. Acupuncture reduces hot flashes quite a bit, a lot. At times, eliminate them because hot flash lasts about 6.5 years. So when you address it earlier with the acupuncture, great. And when the patient reduces foods that are harmful for the body type, hot flash is also reduced too. So it's fun for them that they could address their own problem just by using diet as their medicine.